The sinking feeling that overwhelms you when you feel like you're not good enough for someone can be sickening. But no matter the reason for feeling this way, there are things you can do to overcome it. Hi ladies, Amy here. If you're watching this video, then it's safe to assume that you feel like you're not good enough for a guy, or perhaps have felt this way in the past. This feeling is awful, there's no denying that. But the good news is that in this video, I will teach you what to do when you're feeling undesirable or less than worthy. Before we get started here though, I'd like to quickly ask that if you enjoy this video, then please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. There you'll find loads of other dating and relationship advice videos, and if you click the little bell icon below, you'll be notified anytime a new video is released. I do try my best to put out a new one each week, and if you'd like to vote for what my next video should be, you can do so right now in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I've narrowed down your requests to a couple of the most popular, so the options you're voting on do come from you ladies, the viewers. If there's a particular topic you'd like to see me cover, you can post it in the comments below and I'll do my best to come up with a video for you. Okay, now let's talk about what you can do when you feel like you're not good enough for a man. Well, first things first, and that's recognizing the mistake it is to make a man that you have feelings for your hero or to put him on a pedestal. The reason why this is so wrong is because heroes are those we look up to, and you should be on level playing ground with any man or potential love interest. This is the most basic truth for feeling equal and valued. However, that's not to say that there aren't situations where you may find yourself feeling inadequate. Maybe this feeling is a one-off thing, or maybe feeling less than enough is a regular occurrence for you. Whatever the case, if you do find yourself feeling like you're not enough, then the first and most important step is to determine why you feel this way. Now, there's a good chance that you won't be able to pinpoint the exact reason for this, at least not right away. So, if you find yourself struggling for an answer, then grab a piece of paper and a pen and jot down anything in your life that you think may be feeding into these harsh thoughts. For instance, did something in your life change recently, say a particular situation or the dynamic in your relationship? Are you unhappy in your career or with your physical appearance? Do you feel less talented, less intelligent, or less attractive than those you surround yourself with? Do you have unrealistic goals or set high expectations for yourself? If you set standards for yourself that are bound to be missed, do you go into self-loathing mode and blame yourself when this happens? All of these scenarios are products of your own thoughts and insecurities. And in the grand scheme of things, you're the only person in control of your feelings. So then, when your inner nag tells you that you're not pretty enough, smart enough, or successful enough to approach the man you laid eyes on, it's important that you debunk those thoughts. Why? Because if you let them get the best of you and believe that others are too good for you, then you're missing out on what could potentially be an amazing connection. Instead of putting others above you, stay on the same ground and believe that you are worthy of any man's time. And equally as important, radiate that belief. When you do, you will ooze confidence and it won't go unnoticed. However, feeling not good enough isn't always initially caused by something you've personally thought. It can also be caused by an action of someone else, say your partner or the man you're romantically into. For example, maybe he received a big promotion, making him much more successful than you. Or perhaps other women have been giving him attention lately and you can tell he's enjoying it. Or maybe he's been hanging out with the guys more often and doesn't seem to have time to spend with you. These situations can without doubt make you feel less desirable and can easily stir up jealousy and make it feel like it's you who isn't good enough. This is especially common if he's not treating you with the love and respect you deserve. What's important to remember here is that you are doing yourself no good by letting these negative feelings bring you down. In fact, doing so usually makes matters worse. So again, to get past feeling not good enough, the first step is to determine why you feel this way. Once you're aware of the reason for not feeling good enough, you can begin to fix it. Before I explain the steps you'll need to follow to do so, I want to share a quick story with you. About a year ago, a woman named Lacey came to me, feeling like she wasn't good enough for her boyfriend, Dave. The two of them had been together for just over a year at that point, and while the relationship was still loving, she was beginning to feel insecure and as though Dave could and would eventually do better than her. Letting these negative thoughts get to her head, her feelings of worthlessness began to get the best of her. Before she knew it, she was questioning and comparing herself to every female Dave interacted with, and on a regular basis, she'd find herself locked away in the bathroom, crying her eyes out, convinced that Dave was going to break her heart. The reality of the situation, though, was that Dave wasn't giving Lacey a justified reason to feel this way. He'd never been unfaithful or dishonest, and the only real fault of his was a lack of energy he had at the end of the workday. Since this seemed to be more of an issue that Lacey was struggling with internally for personal reasons, we decided to make a list of all of the things that triggered her negative emotions. Ones like jealousy, loneliness, clinginess, and worry. This led us to realize that at the core of Lacey's insecurities was the need to feel wanted on a regular basis. From here, Lacey and Dave talked about the issue and found ways to make sure that both partners were getting what they needed from the relationship. What's interesting to note here is that the real problem in the relationship could actually be traced to Lacey's attachment style, which is something I want to talk a little bit about right now. You may or may not have heard of attachment styles, but everyone has one, and it's something that we develop at a young age and carry with us through life. What an attachment style is the way we relate to other people. People who often feel that they're not good enough for others, who are self-critical and insecure, or who believe that they're unworthy of love, usually have an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. Since there's a good chance that this is all new to you, I'm going to break it down further because this is important to know if you've been struggling with these feelings. So basically, a person with an anxious, preoccupied attachment style feels that in order to get close to someone and have their needs met, they need to be with that person all of the time and get reassurance that they are good enough. Rather than feeling real love or trust, they act out of insecurities and become clingy, and if, for instance, their partner decides to spend time elsewhere or with others, then those with an anxious, preoccupied attachment style will get jealous and may even think, he doesn't really love me, or this means he's going to leave me. Even with reassurance and approval from others, they may still feel this sort of self-doubt and will question things about themselves, often to the extent that it becomes exhausting to those around them. The reason I'm bringing up this attachment style is because if you find yourself not feeling good enough on a regular basis, then this is an issue you'll want to address. If this does sound like you, don't panic. With some self-compassion and awareness, you can successfully build loving, healthy relationships with yourself and others. But regardless of whether or not this is your attachment style, if you find yourself feeling like you're not enough for a man, then here are some important steps to follow. Number 1, pay attention to the way you feel in particular situations. When thoughts of self-doubt or worthlessness start to arise, determine the reasons for it. Is it something you've stirred up in your own mind based on your imagination, or has someone done something to make you feel inadequate? Do you have a particular reoccurring thought, or are there physical triggers that bring you down? Is there a particular person who makes you feel low or undeserving? By focusing on what thoughts and actions affect your emotions, you'll be able to better handle them. During this process, it's also important to narrow down your emotions. Meaning, instead of just being sad, decide the type of sad you are. For instance, is it hurt, anger, guilt, or disappointment that you're feeling? Do the same with your positive feelings too. You're not just happy, you can be grateful, excited, energetic, and so on. Being able to specifically break down your emotions will help when it comes to overcoming and understanding the reasons you feel the way you do. Number 2, choose your thoughts wisely. Oftentimes, you don't feel good enough because of the thoughts that you've created and given energy and time to. If a thought comes up that makes you feel less than amazing, you can either choose to ignore it or accept it as truth. What you'll need to do now is to learn how to brush off these negative thoughts and instead practice self-love. After all, most people believe what they think, so come up with a new outlook for yourself. What's awesome is that this is actually much easier than it sounds. So anytime your inner bitch comes knocking, find ways to kick her out of your head and instead take on the belief that you are an amazing woman and any guy would be happy to have you. If you'd like to learn some powerful tips for finding inner love and building the type of confidence that'll turn heads and make any man feel lucky to so much as even talk to you, then pop on over to my site. There you'll find a free video presentation for your viewing pleasure, so check it out and you'll be well on your way to upping your odds. The URL is coachnorth.com and I'll post the link in the description below. Number 3, don't surround yourself with people who bring you down. There's a massive difference between having unrealistic expectations and overreacting, and settling or putting up with inappropriate behaviors. No person, man or woman, has the right to make you feel unworthy. If you're letting the words or actions of others get the best of you, then you're going to find yourself feeling blue more often than you should. Simply put, don't waste your time with people who bring you down. The reason they do so is because they're secretly insecure, and taking you down a notch makes them feel better. Or, giving those people the benefit of the doubt, maybe they don't realize how negatively their actions or words are impacting you. Either way though, only you have the power to make yourself feel what you do. Sure, outside factors can play a part, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own happiness. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Number 4, don't compare yourself to others. One of the most common causes for not feeling good enough is comparing yourself to others. If there's one thing that not enough people acknowledge, though, it's that oftentimes others will only show or tell you what they want you to see and hear. This means that what you think could be someone's perfect life is really only a small glimpse or fragment of their real life. It makes sense, too. Most people like talking about or posting on social media the highs of their life, be it updates from a trip, news about a promotion, or photos when they look their best. Just because you see these things, it doesn't mean you're seeing the whole picture or that you should be comparing yourself in life or your life to theirs. In fact, chances are you're just seeing the version or portion of their life that they like best and are most proud of. It doesn't mean that they have the perfect life and that they're happy 24/7. It just means that they're choosing not to publicly post or openly talk about the things that they're unhappy with or what's bothering them. Keep this in mind when you start to feel like you're not enough or as achieved as others. That said, this doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing. By focusing on the good aspects of your life and choosing to make those the highlights, you'll not only start to feel amazing, but you'll be encouraged to scout out more of what makes you feel happy. Number 5, learn how to brush it off. When you feel like it's the end of the world, ask yourself this. Is what's bothering me now worth worrying about or feeling down over? Are my thoughts and feelings justified? Chances are when you're caught up in the moment, the answer will be yes, absolutely. But be honest with yourself and try to remove yourself from the scenario and see the bigger picture. Will this still be a concern tomorrow or even next week? If there's a particular situation that upsets you, then try your best to get to the root of why it does and find a way to overcome it. If it was a figment of your imagination, let it go. Life is full of obstacles, so yes, you will have good days and bad. When the bad days come knocking, be sure to keep a positive mindset and do your best to handle whatever problems arise. Number 6, live in the moment. If you're caught up thinking about the past or worrying about what could happen in the future, then you're going to miss out on the present. What's worse about this situation is that the present is the only time you have immediate control over. So don't let that opportunity go to waste. It's so easy to focus your energy on something that's already happened. But again, when you waste valuable time stressing or sulking about something that's already been said or done, you're not doing yourself any favors. If you find yourself doing this, then keep this in mind. The past is in the past. It cannot be undone or changed, so leave it be and move on. As for the future, what you do today will impact it greatly, so choose your actions, words, and thoughts wisely. A helpful way to keep a positive outlook on life in the future is by learning to appreciate the little things you have in your life today, and by moving forward with that same grateful, positive attitude. Number 7, love yourself. At the heart of making these interpersonal changes is self-compassion. Since you're probably used to being self-doubting, critical, or downright nasty to yourself, start treating yourself as you would a loved one who came to you for support or someone else in need. When you can give yourself the same love and supportive talk that you would give to others, you'll notice a change in your attitude and feelings. When working on you, be sure to set realistic expectations and standards for yourself. For example, if you feel that you'd be more confident if you gave your body some extra love and care, then do so. Set some goals and make it happen. Just be careful not to get fooled by media ads or photoshopped images. These can be discouraging when working on your self-image. So again, be realistic with yourself. And remember, having ambitions and goals is great, but don't fret if you slip up every now and then. No one's perfect, and it's all part of being human. Well, that's just about a wrap on this video. As always, thanks so much for stopping by my channel and checking out this video. If you learned something new here or found what I shared helpful, then please be sure to hit the like button below and share this with all your lady friends. Also, if you haven't already done so, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other dating and relationship vids. As always, if you have any questions for me or feedback, you can post those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Again, thanks so much for your support. It's what allows me to keep coming out with new content for you, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So ladies, now that you have the tips you need to feel worthy and loved, go put them to use, and I'll see you again next time. Good luck.